What's the latest on the crew? Let's go inside the clubhouse with Drew Wagner of Forbes Sports on Wisconsin Sports Daily. Served up by Wendy's on 1250 AM and 1057 FM The Fan. Inside the Clubhouse is brought to you by Focus Baseball. Sign your kids up now for July open tryouts at focusbaseball.com. Ages 6 to 17.
It is time for Forbes Baseball Milwaukee beat reporter and man about town, Drew Wagner, joins the show. Drew, you ever been to Canada? You ever been to Toronto?
I have.
I should probably turn your mic on. Hold on. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Hi.
Yeah, better. Hi, how are you?
I'm well.
You
We
ever
got
been
to
to
work on
Toronto?
that. We got to work on that intro music. I need something with more of a fiddle, maybe a banjo.
You know
steel
what?
guitar.
Charlie, you want to email Sparky? We can make that happen. We're
Yeah.
Odyssey. We are worldwide. We could do anything.
That's right. I have been to Toronto. It's a lovely town, and I'm a fan of. Well, this will come as no shock to you, Mr. Boston boy. I'm a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Sure,
So,
yeah.
Yep.
Not as at least you're not a fan of the Montreal Les Habitants, the Canadians.
Disgusting organization.
Thank you.
Disgusting.
Like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? Like
Yeah,
we
exactly.
can agree to hate the Canadians together.
Yeah, I thought about going this weekend, but one, I wasn't sure that Canada would let me in,
Fair.
and two, I had no confidence that the United States would let me back in.
I think both of those are appropriate thoughts. And I wanted to wish you condolences on your loss last night.
Yeah, I dislike Nebraska a great deal.
Yeah, again, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. I also, we all dislike Nebraska. They are.
I watched that game. And I'm like, oh, they are driving. This could be good. And I knew the second that he dropped back to air one out I knew right away. I'm like, there is before he threw the ball, I'm like, this is gonna get picked. And sure as hell, it got picked. That is the life of being a Cincinnati fan. Both the Bengals and the Bearcats.
Yeah, I was going to say, for those of you who don't know, Drew Wagner are a Milwaukee baseball insider, also a hardcore Cincinnati football fan, which totally
explains my miserable, crabby nature.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it exactly that way, but that was kind of like where I was veering. Well, I don't know if you know this or not, but we haven't had as much time today to dive into Brewers Blue Jays as I would have liked as a diehard baseball fan, because there's been some other news here in Wisconsin that we've been paying attention to. The Packers made a deal or something.
Is this guy good? No, I'm mad. I had this again, faint, fleeting, false hope that Mike Brown would finally do the right thing and make a deal and go after Parsons, because if there's anything the Bengals have needed, it's been defensive help, especially pass rush. Like, come on, man. And
that would have been fun.
My ultimate fear was that he would go to the Green Bay Packers. And
well, your fear has been acknowledged and celebrated by fans throughout Wisconsin, as Micah Parsons, I think, is set to land in about 25 minutes at Austin Strobel. Press conference at 6 o'clock. Gutekunst is talking at 5. We'll carry those both right here on the Fan, and there'll be fun and frivolity for Packers fans, not necessarily Bengals fans. But let's turn our attention to the team with the best record in all of Major League Baseball, on its way to face the team with the best record in the American League and the second best record in all of Major League Baseball, the Toronto Blue Jays. As a baseball fan, Drew, I'm really excited for this weekend.
Yeah, it should be really good. It's easy to forget that the Brewers still have the best record in baseball, despite all that's happened in the last 2 weeks or so. There's been a lot of doomsday and naysayers. They're still in the driver's seat in the NL Central. They're still in the driver's seat for the top seed in the National League. And they're still, I don't know what Toronto has done in the last week, because I've been busy, following the team that I'm paid to cover. But I think they still have a fairly comfortable lead over the Blue Jays for the best record.
I believe it's 4.5.
Yeah,
it's still 4.5. Yeah.
Now, that could obviously change this weekend. The Brewers need to play their A game. This is going to be the best team they faced in a couple of weeks. But, I mean, it should be really good baseball. Now we say that, and we know the baseball gods will look down and go, ha ha ha, we're going to make this a 13-1 route, one way or the other, because that's just how it goes when you expect like a good tight game. But it on paper should be pretty interesting. Now, personally, as much as I kind of like the Blue Jays team, even though childhood Andrew Wagner absolutely hates them for beating the Brewers out in '92 and then
92. Yep.
stealing that traitor Paul Molitor.
Yep.
I'm still bitter about that. I wouldn't mind seeing them get to the World Series, but quite frankly, I'd rather have the Detroit Tigers in the World Series because, again, while there is no I in team, you can't spell media without me. And I am all about postseason opponents to which I can drive. That's what I want. Like, I would like the Cubs and the Reds to be either the 1 or 3. So the Brewers play one of them in the NLDS and the other one advances to the NLCS and faces the Brewers. So, like, say the Cubs in the NLDS beat them, the Reds make a run to the NLCS, then I can drive to Chicago, then I can drive to Cincinnati, then I can drive to Detroit because it's all about me.
Yeah. I think, nothing wrong with that. Like that's as it should be, right?
Yeah.
Let's make that happen. So I don't know how much you've gotten to watch the Blue Jays or not this year. But I know that the Blue Jays are our team that again, like we say with the Brewers, like you got to play baseball for 27 outs. The Blue Jays very similar. Like they do not strike out a lot. They fight balls off. They put balls in play. They play with good energy and they have really good at starting pitching. And I think we're going to see that this weekend. Both teams, all 6 starters this weekend, really good starters.
Yeah, it is going to be some of the best pitching matchups that we've seen all season in baseball. I mean, both sides come into this thing and they are pitching. They're pitching their lights out. I was just looking up the stats here to see where the Blue Jays rank. They're 5th in strikeouts in the American League. They are, where is it? Their ERA. They are right up there. Come on. No, they're not right up there. All right. They're actually 11th, 4.23. So, that's something to be optimistic about. But you're right. Offensively, they play a very similar style to the Brewers. Maybe not quite as aggressive on the base paths. They don't go for that pressure as much as the Brewers do because they do have a pretty good amount of pop in their bats. I mean, these guys can, if you make a mistake to the Blue Jays lineup, that thing is getting hit up to Sudbury. They can crush. They actually crush the baseball. Yeah, that was a Shorzy reference. 182 home runs this year. They're 4th in the American League, so they can do damage.
I think it's interesting that when you look at batting average in Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays and Brewers are tied for 2nd as a team. They're hitting 258. The A's are actually 4th. They're hitting 253. They're tied with the Astros and the Dodgers. Then the Red Sox and the Yankees are hitting 252. And the Blue Jays are hitting 268. They're 10 points better than Philly and Milwaukee, who are tied for 2nd. They lead the league in on-base percentage, not necessarily in slugging. You're right; they do hit a number of home runs, but there are some teams that are above, that are way ahead of them with that. But they put people on base, and they come after. That's the way they come after you with that on-base percentage.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They get on base, and the difference is they don't manufacture as much as the Brewers do. They're not as much of a station-to-station team as the Brewers are, and they don't have to because they got guys like Vladdy Jr. and Bichette who can just go out there and absolutely rake and clear the bases with one swing of the bat. That's the biggest difference between the Brewers and the Blue Jays is they've got more guys that more consistently clear the bases with the swing. So you have to be extra careful because, like the Brewers, that lineup does not chase a lot, does not strike out a lot. They put the ball in play, and then you have that added danger of absolute demolishing guys that are hidden in that order.
Yeah, Drew Wagner joining us here on Wisconsin Sports Daily, served up by Wendy's. I know we've got 3 in Toronto, and I don't want to look ahead to next week. Not that I'm looking ahead to Philadelphia. I'm looking ahead to Tuesday, really. Tuesday is the day off. And as we look at this Brewers team with how many games they've played, how important is it just for that day off to come and just for everybody to kind of reset for the September run?
Yeah, they need it. I mean, this team, like you can tell, they are tired. They're exhausted. that 14-game winning streak, they're running on adrenaline there. And you go in to Chicago and you play that 5-game series, which takes, listen, there's an emotional toll that comes with it too. You go in there expecting to play that doubleheader, you play the early game, and then your plans get scuttled. So then you got to turn around again, get an early start to the next day and play 2. And you're all out of sorts.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. It throws guys off rhythm. It throws them out of a routine. In baseball, football is such a brute sport. It's a lot of, pounding and hammering and all that stuff. That sounded weird. Basketball is more of an athletic sport. Baseball is a mental sport. And when you're going at it day after day, you just get exhausted. Add in the physical aspect of it. I mean, the bodies are run down, the minds are run down. That day off where you can just get up, get treatment, have your coffee, sit in the toilet for an hour and just veg out. That goes so far. And you can tell they need it right now. Like, they haven't been getting run out of town these last couple games when they're 5-8. But you look at those losses, they had the lead in, I think, 7 of those games and just kind of faltered down the stretch. And some of that is not coming up with a big hit, not beating out the throw, not making the bullpen pitch. Like, that's a sign of fatigue. And that happens to everybody. The Brewers are still a good team. They're just running on fumes right now. And I think if they get through this stretch, if you win this series, if you take 2 out of 3 somehow in Toronto and can come out and win that game Monday, then you're like, I think a game under 500, maybe at 500 for that stretch. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. No one's expecting you to win, 12 out of 19. That's just ridiculous. But if you can stay close to 500 during that stretch and keep your lead in the division, I mean, look at where they're at. They started, they were 9 games out when that losing streak ended. So then it dropped to 8. And then despite going 5-8 since, they've only lost a game and a half of their lead during that time. So they're still in really good shape and they've managed to maintain. But yeah, that off day is going to be huge, except for us. Tuesday is the most important day on the calendar because that is the Pud Galvin Cup, in which the Brewers media takes on Brewers employees.
Wait, when is that?
It's Tuesday at 6:00 at Helfer. And
how did I not get my invite?
Got to be a regular, I think.
I don't think you do, because I've played in the past.
No,
I was on a team that actually beat the Brewers employees for the first time in years.
Yeah, and we did that last year for the first time in, I think, 10 years. So we kind of.
So I was on the team 10 years ago.
Yeah, we kind of clamped down the roster. The CBA.
Clearly, you don't need good. Clearly, you don't need good. Clearly, you don't need good players.
Can you play shortstop?
100%. I play shortstop every day.
I'll talk to as the GM. I'll talk to my analytics people.
Yeah, you let them know, because if you actually want a shortstop who can play,
I can talk to our commissioner Andrew Grumman and see if we can get a waiver.
Nice.
We'll need your walk-up song, and we'll see what we can do.
I mean, just anything with thunder in it, I think would pretty much qualify. Final question for you, Mr. Drew Wagner, on this Friday evening, as we'll let you go into the weekend. I know I saw you do a little reposting from our good friend, Mr. No Hair, Todd Rosiak. Jackson Chourio is in Toronto, expected to be perhaps activated tomorrow. It looks like from what
that's what I'm thinking.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, when we last had our last pregame session with Murph, which I think was Wednesday. Yeah, because yesterday was a day game. We don't get him before the game. Wednesday, he said if all goes well in his last rehab outing, he could be available Friday. When I saw the move this morning, because they made one roster move. Rob the Strizny is back. Easton McGee is out. I think that's going to be a huge boost for the bullpen, getting his left-handed arm in there. I was a little shocked to not see Chourio on this. So maybe they're just giving him an extra day before bringing him in, but I fully expect him to be active this series.
Nice. And that's going to be a great jolt for the team. And I know that we will talk about that Monday morning on the Mason Crosby Show.
You bet we will.
Wow. Drew, have an absolutely amazing weekend. Again, sorry about the game last night. The Bearcats have nowhere to go but up.
Yeah.
Good luck with that, buddy.
All right. Talk soon.
He is Drew Wagner, Forbes Sports, our Milwaukee baseball insider, covering every Milwaukee Brewers game.